let's learn to crochet. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. I know that there is an awful lot of people that have subscribed recently because of this video, so definitely if you are brand new, let me know below, let me know what made you click on this video. Today we are going to start a series of videos where I am going to take you through learning to crochet step by step in real time. So I am planning on being in the live comments and premiering these videos on a Sunday. So at 7 o'clock on Sunday, the video is going to go up, it's going to premiere, and I'm going to be in the live chat. So if you are on your phone, if you have it in portrait mode, there should be a live chat button. Come and say hello to me. If you are on your PC, then it should be up on the side there. You can chat to me in the box. And this is so if you've got any questions as the video goes on, you can ask them and I can answer them directly. So that is the idea. We're going to do this every Sunday to build up your basic skills to get you started with crochet. One of the things that I have found while talking and listening to what people have said is that they sometimes get overwhelmed and they haven't got the time to learn. And that's why I said that we're going to learn to crochet in 5 minutes a day. So I just want you to find a 5-minute pocket, and it needs to be preferably the same time every day, not necessarily like on the dot same time, but at the same point in your day. So for example, if you get home from work and you first thing you do is make yourself a cup of tea and sit down, use that 5 minutes there to do this. If you are an early bird, not like me, and you get up really early, and you've got a bit of time in the morning, then use that time, but make sure that you kind of just build it into the routine that you already have, because that's one of the things that will stop you in your tracks, is trying to find this extra time. It's just 5 minutes. We're going to do 5 minutes a day because I think you learn better that way than doing a whole hour on one day and then nothing for a week. So the idea is I will have timestamps on this video, which will be listed in the description below, and you can usually see it on the red bar across the bottom where the video breaks up. And I will have it start the tutorial when we actually get going with the actual crochet project for the day, and you'll be able to go to that, and it's going to be 5 minutes long. That little section is going to be 5 minutes long, and I am just going to go over and over and over the skill that we are currently learning. So that is what we are going to do. I've obviously got a little bit of an introduction here at the beginning, and we will have a little bit of an outro, but you don't need to watch that every day, but you can come back to this video every day, skip to that tutorial, play it for 5 minutes, know that you've done your 5 minutes for that day, and I am there with you doing exactly the same thing. So that is hopefully going to help you to upskill and improve on your crochet, rather than just trying to dive in and start all at once with everything. So you are going to need some tools. If you haven't already, then I highly suggest that you get this kit here. I will link this in the description below. It's on Amazon. This was the kit that I bought. It's got a variety of crochet hooks in it. It comes with a tape measure, which is always handy, some tapestry needles. It comes with a cutter, and actually there's a new cutter in the new set, which is much nicer than this. It's like a little pair of snippers rather than this ring thing. And stitch markers, and that comes in really handy. You might want to upgrade these later, but this is a really good starter kit for a reasonable price. I think it's like $13.99, and you get like 8 or so crochet hooks. I think it's a 40-piece set. So this will be linked below. Do go and grab one. If you don't want to get the whole little starter kit, you can go online and just buy one crochet hook, or go to your local craft store. We are going to be using the 4mm hook for these lessons, so you will need a 4mm hook. You don't have to have it, but it's a good standard size crochet hook to have. So we're going to do that, and you're of course going to need some yarn. So I have got some double knit here. I think it's 100% acrylic. Yeah, it's very old, and you don't need anything fancy to get started. We're going to be practicing, we're going to be undoing, redoing, undoing, so any piece of scrap yarn that you have laying around will do. And then I just wanted to take you over a couple of tips before we get started. So if you are enjoying this so far, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed and you want to make sure that you're here for the whole series, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out when I next upload. I do also do home fragrance and a little bit of decluttering on the channel, so those happen during the week, but the weekend is usually my craft video, and for the next few weeks it's going to be this beginner's crochet. So with your yarn, there are two ends to your ball of wool, and one will be on the outside and one will be on the inside. So there are two ways that you can start using your yarn. You can find the one on the outside and use that. It's usually the easiest to find and the quickest to get started. Or you can put your fingers inside the yarn and pull out the lump of wool that's in there, which is what I've done. And what you will find is that more often than not, there's a big ball of messiness in there. And what you need to do is find the end, and then you need to deal with the messiness, because otherwise it's going to get knotted. Now, my advice is just do not pull tightly. Keep everything loose, so you can see that I'm just kind of pulling it out and then pulling the end and pulling it out a little bit more and working with it until I've undone it all. And then I've just rolled up that yarn so that it doesn't get knotty again. But the reason that I do it that way is because if you are pulling the yarn from the center of the wool, then you're not going to have the ball of wool bouncing all over the place. It just kind of comes out from the center and the wool stays pretty still. If you're on the outside, it's got to go around the ball, underneath the ball, so the ball is going to start jiggling everywhere. You'll end up with it falling on the floor, you'll end up falling off the table, off the sofa, wherever you are, and it will definitely intrigue your pets more that way than if you pull it from the center. And I have two cats, so I pull from the center, but it's completely up to you which way you do that. So the next thing is making sure that you've got your crochet hook. Now, this one has a rubber handle. You will find ones that are maybe a little bit tapered and have got sort of a little rubbery grip. You will also find ones like this that are just straight plastic. There are wooden ones, there are metal ones that are just straight pieces of metal. So it all depends on what you're more comfortable with. I quite like the fact that this has this grip here that you can use, just a little bit nicer on the wrists. And you can get wrist ache with crochet, so it's definitely worth getting hooks that work for you and how you want to work. Quick tea break. Okay, so this is going to be the start of our 5 minutes working this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we're going to do first, and then I will start the 5 minutes so you can sort of see what we're doing. And then the 5 minutes is just going to be me practicing what I'm showing you. And I will talk you through some tips, but I'm not going to talk over the 5 minutes because I don't want you to sort of get bored with my voice if you're going to watch this back again. So I'll put a little bit of music in the background. You can mute it and you can just sit there and listen to your own music on a different device if you want to, but I will be quiet for that because otherwise you might just get sick of my voice before we get to the end of the course. So let me flip you down so you can see what we're going to do today. Okay, so I've got us on some white paper here, so hopefully you can see a little bit better than on my mats there. And so the first thing that we're going to learn is how to do a slip knot. So we need a slip knot to get started. There is also the magic loop, but we're going to cover that next week. So first we're going to learn the slip knot. So a slip knot is just basically like tying a bow on half a shoe. So we're just going to tie half a bow, and it is as simple as that. So you can do it this way, how I've just done it there. So take your yarn in your left hand. Now I am right-handed, so you might have to do this the other way around if you are a lefty, but I hold the yarn in my left hand, I take it around my fingers with my right hand, and then I just pull the yarn through that loop. So I'm doing it extra big so you can see it there. You obviously don't have to do it as big as that, because what you want to do is put your hook through there, and that is a rather large loop to have your hook through. So you would then just pull it a little bit tighter so it is more stitch like. Okay, so you can do it that way, or you can wrap and cross it over a couple of fingers, put your hook through and pull your hook up through the center and do the same thing. Just tighten it up there and loosen. So it's completely up to you which way you do it. You want to make sure that you've got a little bit of a tail here, so that whatever piece of work you're working on, you'll be able to weave that end in. So I always like to leave myself with enough yarn to do that. So you're just pulling it through, taking it off and looping it like that. So that is something that you might want to just have a practice at doing, so that you aren't getting those massive loops straight away. You're just getting a loop that you can work with. So that is the slip knot, which I will go over in that 5 minutes. Now we're going to start with a chain. So the way that I start a chain, and a chain is just literally more loops like this that are joined together, that is going to create your foundation row for your work. So if you are working forwards and backwards, this is what you would do. So what I do in this case is I will take the end of the yarn in my right hand for this first little piece, so I can hold it with the hook. I take the working yarn in my left hand, and I am going to put it over the hook, and then I come under here and I hold the working yarn in my left hand too, so that I've got some stability there, so I can pull on this hook without it all just coming loose. And then you pull the hook through the hole and pull that loop up. So that is one chain. And then again, I will hold the tail in my right hand. I will yarn over with the working yarn in my left hand, and then I will swap it back and pull through. And that is what we are going to practice. And then once you've got a couple, you can just leave all of the yarn, working and tail, in your left hand, and just work your hook doing your chain. So you are going to yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. Okay, and then you're going to create this kind of chain. It's a chevron pattern, I like to say. These are your chevrons. So when I refer to a chevron, I'm talking about this crisscross that these chains make. So this is the front of your chain, and then if you flip it over, you'll see that it's a lot of bumps, bump, 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 and those are the back of your chain. That's your first task. This is what we are going to practice just doing today. Now, the thing with your chain is you need to work on your tension with this, and this is why I say we're just going to do 5 minutes a day of just doing a chain, because you can get your stitches all different sizes. So you might be looser, you might pull too much yarn through, and then you're making your loops really big, and then they're really small, and then they're really big again. That's not going to help you when you're doing your work. You want to make your chains all a very similar size like this. And you have to be careful, because whatever length you make these, when you work further on with your stitches, you might find that you're working a looser tension than you started with your chain, and then you get that tightness around the bottom, or you know, if you were doing a headband, it might be tight at the front and loose at the back because your stitch tension was looser than your chain tension. So it's just something to keep an eye on, trying to make sure that the chains are a very similar size, and that they're not too loose and not too tight, and that is something that you will have to practice. So I am going to put the timer on now. If you are watching live and you have any questions while this is going, then please do pop them in the chat, and I will be there to have a conversation with you about it. But I'm just going to go silent, and we're going to do this 5 minutes of creating a slip knot and creating a chain. Now you can make a chain of as many as you like. Obviously the bigger the project that you're going to eventually do, the more chains you need. If you are just practicing, I say do sort of 10 to 20 chains so you can practice moving up a chain as it gets too long for you to hold. And I will show you that in the 5 minutes, or just start off really simply with doing 10 chains, undoing it, doing 10 chains, undoing it, and then maybe move on to doing a slightly longer chain towards the end of the week. So let's start our 5 minutes. is my completed chain. You don't have to have anything particularly at the end of your session, because you're just going to keep repeating, undoing and redoing your chains. Now, if you want to know how many chains you've done, you'll need to count them, and the way you would do that is to count the chevrons. So where you see 2 of these lines together, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I didn't start at the beginning. I did mess up on this first stitch. This is too big. You can go in and like undo this knot here and change it and tighten it up a little bit. I would have just started again, so not including that one because it doesn't look good, or that one because it's linked to it. But that's 1 stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 I have done there in that line. So that is it for today's lesson, guys. We are just starting with the chain. Now you can actually, you know, make friendship bracelets out of these. You could do 2 or 3 of them in different colours and tie them, plait them together or whatever. So you can make things out of just a chain. But this is the foundation of everything we do in crochet. So we have done this week. Next week I am going to show you the magic loop and how we work stitches into the base of the magic loop, and then we will start working into some stitches. So for now, all I want you to do is go away and practice that 5 minutes a day until next Sunday, and then come back and join me where we will learn the magic loop and how to get our first stitches into a magic loop. I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope you do stick around. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get notified when I next upload. I hope you have enjoyed having me in the chat if you are here live. If not, please do please do pop any questions you've got in the comments, and I'll be sure to come back and answer them across the week or beyond if you're watching this at another time. I will be doing a playlist for this, so you can go and find that on my page as well. Hope you will stick around and watch some of my other videos too, and I will see you next Sunday for lesson number 2. Bye for now.